Hi everyone. This week I want to do a video on what is ascension. And I want to go into talking about how ascension affects us, how it everything from the physical part of it to the consciousness and your environment, everything that changes. So, first of all, these are I want to say, you know, disclaimer out that if this doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. These are what my beliefs are, and many of others. Like I said, if this doesn't resonate, what I'm saying, then you can just discard it and just think of it as a interesting information. So first of all, what is ascension? The actual, and I'm going to read this. This is the actual traditional sense of of what ascension is. Ascension is the act of rising to an important position or a higher level. Okay, that's a traditional definition of it. Ascension is basically evolving, evolution. It's changing your consciousness. So, what basically it's changing the way you think, the way you behave, what you will experience as you open up yourself to more of who you truly are. You will experience more. So first of all, a little bit of background. We each have a higher aspect of ourselves, a higher self, okay? And this higher self is like, you can say a guardian angel, you can say, a soulmate, you can say, or not necessarily a soulmate, but you can say maybe another aspect of you that is in a higher dimension. A guardian angel, like I said, guardian angel could be your spirit guide, it could be whatever the case. So this higher aspect of you, I'll just call it the higher self. Your higher self watches out for you. And before you incarnate, you agree to go through certain aspects and certain experiences in this lifetime. And in this lifetime, the planet right now is going through an ascension process. So the ascension is actually, it's speeding up. There's lots of stuff that's happening. You will experience many different things. So how do you know if you're going through ascension? How do you know if you're experiencing it? Well, really, it's the finding of your true self. And what I mean by that is really looking within you, finding those things that you truly enjoy, what gives you joy, what gives you love, what gives you happiness. And I'm excluding material things. I mean, sure, they can give you the short-term effect of maybe happiness, but it's not true happiness. It's finding who you are, what rather than what society tries to put on us, what society tries to, the media tries to say who we are, because they do that all the time. They try to how do I say, in the media and others try to put us all together in groups, and try to make us some people, or make us who we are not. Okay, so basically, it's a spiritual awakening. It's an awakening of your spirit, of your soul. Spiritual awakening is not religious. Religious was started to, as, how do I say, there's nothing wrong with religion. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is different than religious. Religious have certain beliefs that not everybody who joins religious groups believe in everything that is taught. So it's really finding those aspects that resonate with you, what you believe, what you know, rather than somebody else puts on you. So let me go into a little bit of the physical part of it, okay? So I mentioned this in another video in the past, that our planet, our solar system, is going through a part of the galaxy, we're in Milky Way galaxy, that is more active. it contains a lot more photonic light, particles that are invisible to the naked eye, that affect our physical bodies as well as our consciousness. And it's like an energy, okay? So everything is energy. So if you look at energy as, um, for example, if you were to live in a very hot climate, let's say you live in the tropical zone in Brazil, which is very hot, in the equator line, uh, always hot there. Trust me, I've been there a few times. It's very, very hot. You live there all your life, and then you decide to move up to a northern climate, like in, let's say, Canada or Montana or Michigan or whatever. You are going to have a very drastic change in the winter. Winter months could be brutal. So it's that energy. It's adjusting. Your physical body adjusts as well. So these light particles that we're going through is the active part of this galaxy. The planets are all changing. What happens is it physically changes us as well as it mentally and consciously changes us. So we start to think differently. We feel differently. We see things differently. So I'll go into some of the ascension symptoms. So a really common one is, and these are just symptoms that I have experienced and others I've talked to experience. Now, this doesn't mean that you couldn't have a medical issue, okay? These are just common symptoms that come and go all the time. When I first started, to just give you an example, when I first started to awaken, or went through this process, uh, you I had issues with my ear. I had very loud ringing in my ears, lots of different tones ringing in my ears. I had heart fluttering. I had all kinds of issues. Hot and cold flashes. I had gone to the doctor. I had gotten tests done on my heart. I had gotten tests. I have many tests done on my heart. I've had my blood sugar, or not blood sugar, blood pressure tested. I had cholesterol checked. I had a stress test. I had hearing tests I'd had done. I had my vision got goofy. I had everything. They could not find anything wrong. Nothing was wrong. So when I did some more research on this, I realized that as this process, the photonic light that comes in, the more particles, it changes the molecular structure of our bodies. We go from more of a carbon based to a crystalline based. So it changes the physiology of us, as well as the consciousness. So some of the other symptoms you get is, like I said, the ringing in the ears, and there's different tones that you experience. You can experience hot and cold flashes. You can experience, like I said, a heart fluttering. You can experience, sometimes you'll get like a very, very, almost like a flu-like symptoms. Your body feels achy in that, and then all of a sudden you'll feel fine. So you may experience that for a few hours, a day or so, and then it goes away without any real serious flu developing. Uh, Other things that people have talked about is, you'll be more, you may be also experiencing things like deja vu, which is deja vu is where you've experienced, say, oh, this feels weird. What's happening right now, this same situation I'm in feels like I've went through it already. That's deja vu. You may become telepathic. You start to pick up on people's thoughts, or you start to pick up on things like that. Uh, your eating habits may change. So, for instance, you may start to say, I can't eat as much carbohydrates anymore. So you start to switch your diet. You might say, I'm craving more fresh fruits and vegetables, less sugar. I've given up soda. I always had drink soda all my life, and probably about a month ago or 2 months ago, I gave up drinking soda, period. Just cut cold turkey. And I've always had soda every day. So I don't even have an inkling anymore to crave it. So those are things that you experience as physical things, as changes. You start to become more conscious of what you're saying to people, conscious of your thoughts, rather than just unconsciously going through life and just, it is what it is, whatever. You start to think before you say things. Maybe you have more compassion toward others. You feel more connected with nature. You want to be out in nature more. You experience, just being uh, being away from the, how do I say, the electrical and plugged in world. You may quit your job. You may all of a sudden realize, I hate my job. I don't want to be in this job. I want to do something totally different. You start to get into more metaphysical subjects. Maybe you will experience seeing spirits or souls. You may start communication with loved ones who have passed. You may start to experience communication with other beings. You may, and I've had a lot of different experiences, but I won't go into detail because people probably think I'm a little crazy. But I will share with anybody that's interested in hearing more of my experiences. Um, you may experience, and these are just a lot of the things that I've talked with people about and myself that I've gone through, but you will experience maybe losing relationships, and relationships ending, where one person is still not quite awakened yet. They're really too focused in the day-to-day routine type stuff, and they just don't have any other interests. So you start to feel a pull away from other people, and other people start to pull away from you. You start to meet maybe new friends and new people that have the same thing in common. The internet is a great place to go. There's so many different groups and things that you can go to for as go-to information. I used to have a spiritual group when I lived in Madison, Wisconsin. I had a group that I met with every week, which I miss them. I love that group, but I managed that group, and then we kind of talked about every week different subjects. And so you would meet other people. And it's tough because I'm not going to say it's a easy process. It isn't, because it's basically taken all your old beliefs that you've believed in, and it throws them out the window, and you start to look at things a lot differently. So when you do that, you're going to open yourself up to more energy, more realms, more experiences, and experiences that you may want to have. So if you want to say, oh, I want to have more experience of connecting with souls on the other side, you can. Everybody has this ability. You just have to be open up to it and open to it. Maybe you want to experience with ET contact, okay, extraterrestrial contact, or galactic family. So you ask for that. You just be ready for that. You start to see things. You may see flashes of light. You may see orbs. You may see colors, different colors, from things. You may see energy coming off different people, or that you may see people's auras. So there's just a lot of different aspects to awakening, ascension. Now, as individuals, we go through this, and we go through this as a collective. The planet also goes through this, because the planet is a being just like us. She has a soul. So her awakening is also happening. Hence, that's why we have a lot of the earth changes. The earth goes through lots of physical changes. Now, of course, there are groups and that do cause damage to the planet, like what's happening in the Amazon, what's happening there, tearing down the Amazon. So there are groups that do that cause damage, but the natural disasters, like the earthquakes, and maybe you'll have hurricanes, and I believe some of the hurricanes have been weather modification, but I won't go into that. That's another topic. So we have those aspects, and um, so these are all the different aspects that you go through. I'm trying to keep this video under, I'm already almost, try to keep it under 20 minutes because I don't want to be too long in this. But those are basic aspects of awakening. You will get into reading different types of books, maybe self-help books, or maybe you start to read books on more metaphysical topics. I will leave a link to, I've mentioned her before many times because this is what really propelled me forward fast, is Dolores Cannon. She has a website. I will put the link in the description box so that way you have it. You can check her website out. She's done past life regression for 50 years when she was living. Uh, so anyway, so these are just kind of the broad range. Now, I was going to go into talking about different um, groups that have come in to really propel this, but I will say that for another video because that's another whole topic. So I will talk about that next time. So if this sounds like you, if this is what you experience in some of this, if you notice a radical shift in your life, if you notice, changes in your how you see things, relationships, jobs, people, friendships ending, um, you just don't feel excited anymore about the same things you used to. You're finding new things. You're involved in that. That's typically what you go through a spiritual awakening. Um, there's many positive sides to it, and there's also the difficult part of it because it challenges your old beliefs. In your old beliefs, your brain, your ego, I would say, call it, tries to hold on to those old beliefs, and it will try to say you're crazy. Oh, this is not real. Feel out the answer rather than try to think about it too much. Always feel out the answer. Feel how it feels in your heart. Don't let what other people try to tell you what your way you should believe, way you should do your life, because that that happens way too much. Society tries to put that on the population because it creates a, how do I say, it gets people to do things because consciousness creates energy. Energy creates things to happen. So if you have a population thinking in a certain way, it can make things happen for certain groups. The other thing I would do is meditation is important. I do want to mention that. That's very, very important to this process. Be out in nature. Just sit quietly. Some people like to listen to soft music. I enjoy listening to crystal singing bowls, Tibetan singing bowls, or some people like to see visual stuff. Some people like to have both. There's also guided meditation. So I really recommend at least try to do this once per day. If you can start with 10 minutes, 5 minutes of your day. Just do it before bed. It's not hard to do. You just have to consciously focus on something to keep your mind from thinking so much. So meditation, join a meditation group, join, groups that do this. But there's so many available. I go into YouTube because there's lots of uh, videos, hundreds and hundreds of videos on meditation. You can find anything. So anyway, so these are kind of the process of awakening. I'm trying to keep it basic, general. If you have questions or that, please send me a message, drop an email. Please subscribe to my channel. That would be great. Please like the video, and then we can connect because I enjoy helping people go through what I went through for the last 15 years. Things are speeding up faster now, though, so we're in that process of where everything is becoming really sped up fast. So people will get more pushed. What I mean by pushed is your higher self will try to push you into awakening that, if you're supposed to do that in this lifetime. Now, not everybody will awakening because this is free will choice, free will planet. So some people will choose not to awaken. They will choose to continue with the duality life, the polarities, and going through those lifetimes. So if it may feel like a big split for those who are awakening, those who are choosing not to, and you can really see it now happening on the planet. So I will try to go into more on the next video with the different volunteers that came to help. Also the new Earth, what's going to happen with this Earth as we go forward. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.